Hollywood, December 1949. The Sunset Strip glows with neon promises, but inside the Brown Derby restaurant, something darker unfolds. Audie Murphy sits alone at a corner booth, America's most decorated war hero turned movie star. His hands shake as he lifts the coffee cup. Not from fear, he's faced down German tanks. From something worse, shame. The bourbon in his coffee has gone cold an hour ago. Murphy stares at his reflection in the dark liquid, seeing not the Medal of Honor winner who held off an entire German company, but the broken actor who forgot his lines 3 times today. The director's voice still echoes. Jesus Christ, Murphy, a trained monkey could remember 2 sentences. What's wrong with you? Across the restaurant, 3 studio executives lean forward like vultures circling carrion. Their voices carry just enough for Murphy to hear every calculated word. War hero or not, the kid's box office poison. The fat one with the cigar gestures dismissively. Shell-shocked pretty boy can't even remember his lines. The thin one adjusts his glasses, calculating. Should have stayed on that Texas farm where he belongs. Murphy's jaw tightens. His coffee cup rattles against the saucer. 24 years old. Medal of Honor winner. Killed 240 enemy soldiers. Held off an entire German company single-handed while standing on a burning tank destroyer. But here, in this leather booth surrounded by palm trees and predators, he's just another broken dreamer. Hollywood chews up and spits out. The nightmares haven't stopped. 3 years since Anzio, since the Colmar pocket, since he watched his best friend's face disappear in artillery fire, and Murphy still wakes up screaming. The studio knows. They all know. And they're using it against him like a weapon. Did you hear what happened on set yesterday? The fat executive's voice drips with mock concern. Poor kid started crying during a love scene. Just broke down sobbing. Director had to shut down production for the day. Murphy's hands clench into fists. The same hands that once held a .50 caliber machine gun steady while German bullets shredded the air around him now tremble when he tries to light a cigarette. Then a shadow falls across his table. You gonna let those jackals talk about you like that, soldier? Murphy looks up. James Cagney stands there, 5'5" of compressed dynamite in a perfectly tailored suit. The king of Warner Brothers. The actor who taught America what tough looked like on screen. But his voice carries something Murphy didn't expect: respect. Up close, Cagney's eyes are steel gray and unforgiving. His face bears the map of 48 hard years, some in Manhattan tenements, some fighting his way up Hollywood's ladder. This isn't just an actor. This is a predator who learned to hunt in waters more dangerous than any battlefield. Before we continue this story that changed 2 lives forever, let me ask you something. Have you ever been protected by someone when you couldn't protect yourself? Hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more stories like this. I don't need protection, Mr. Cagney. Murphy's voice stays level, but his eyes betray the exhaustion of a man who's fought too many battles. Cagney slides into the booth without invitation. Up close, Murphy sees the scars on Cagney's knuckles, the hard intelligence in his eyes. This isn't just an actor. This is a street fighter who clawed his way from the Lower East Side to the top of Hollywood. Protection? Cagney's laugh is sharp as broken glass. Kid, I'm talking about justice. Cagney signals the waitress with a subtle gesture. She appears instantly. That's how power works in Hollywood. 2 more coffees. Make mine black. Put a shot of the good whiskey in his. His eyes never leave Murphy's face. You look like you could use it. What Murphy doesn't know is that Cagney has been watching him for months. Watching the studio heads mock his PTSD during meetings. Watching directors humiliate him when his war memories made concentration impossible. Watching accountants calculate his worth like livestock at auction. 3 weeks ago, Cagney sat in a Warner Brothers boardroom listening to executives laugh about Murphy's episodes. One vice president suggested they leak stories to Hedda Hopper about Murphy's mental state. Drive down his asking price, the man had said, grinning like a hyena. Maybe we can get him for scale. Cagney saw something in Murphy that Hollywood missed. Not just a war hero, but a man carrying the weight of 240 deaths on his shoulders. A man who'd earned the right to stumble, to struggle, to find his way without being devoured by wolves in $1,000 suits. Those 3 clowns at table 7, Cagney continues, his voice dropping to barely above a whisper, they're planning to bury you. Spread word you're unreliable. Make sure you never work again. Murphy's hands stop shaking. Something cold and familiar settles in his chest, the same ice that kept him alive in France when death came from every direction. He turns slightly, studies the 3 executives through the restaurant's dim lighting. The fat one's Harry Kleiner from Columbia, the thin one's Morris Roth from RKO. The one with the mustache is Vincent Sherman from Universal. Cagney's voice carries the clinical precision of a sniper calling targets. They've done this before. Destroyed careers for sport. Why tell me this? Cagney leans back, studies Murphy like a chess master examining the board. Because Hollywood needs real men, not manufactured ones. And because what they're doing to you, they tried to do to me 20 years ago. The coffee arrives. Murphy wraps his hands around the warm cup, lets the whiskey burn away some of the cold that's lived in his chest since the war. Cagney watches him with the patience of a man who understands that some silences can't be rushed. December 1949. Outside the Brown Derby, Sunset Boulevard pulses with post-war ambition. Returning soldiers flood into Los Angeles with dreams bigger than their bank accounts. The studios feast on their desperation, signing them to contracts that amount to legalized slavery. But Murphy isn't just another dreamer. He's the most decorated soldier in American history, and Cagney knows his destruction would send a message to every veteran in Hollywood. Your service means nothing here. I fought my way up from nothing, Cagney says, his voice carrying the rhythm of New York streets. Lost count of how many times they tried to break me. Studio heads who thought they owned my soul. Directors who treated me like a trained monkey. But I had something they couldn't buy or break. What's that? I had someone who believed in me when I couldn't believe in myself. Cagney's eyes soften for just a moment. Old vaudeville performer named George M. Cohan. Saw me in a nothing show on the Bowery, told me I had something special, took me under his wing when I was just another punk kid from the Lower East Side. Murphy listens, recognizing something in Cagney's voice, the tone of a man who'd been saved by someone else's faith when his own ran dry. Now I'm offering you the same thing. Murphy stares at him, processing. This isn't charity, this isn't Hollywood glamour, this is one warrior recognizing another. What do you want in return? Nothing. And everything. Cagney's smile is razor sharp. I want you to survive this place without losing your soul. I want you to remember that being a real man means protecting those who can't protect themselves, and someday, when you're strong enough, I want you to pass it forward. The restaurant continues its evening performance around them. Starlets laugh too loudly at producers, jokes. Agents whisper deals that will destroy careers. The machinery of dreams and destruction grinds on. But in their corner booth, something sacred is happening. A pact is being formed that will reshape both their lives. They'll come at you harder now, Cagney warns. Question your sanity. Leak stories about breakdowns on set. Make you doubt yourself until you believe their lies. Murphy's voice stays steady. I've been through worse. Not like this, you haven't. In the war, you knew who your enemies were. Here, they smile while they cut your throat. Cagney leans forward, his voice dropping to a whisper. Listen to me, kid. In 3 days, Kleiner's gonna call your agent. He's going to offer you a supporting role in a nothing picture. Scale pay, no billing. It's designed to humiliate you. How do you know this? Because I've been in this town for 25 years. I know how these parasites think. Cagney's fingers drum silently on the table. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to turn it down, politely, and then you're going to wait. Over the next 2 hours, Cagney lays out the landscape of Hollywood's war zones. Which directors can be trusted? Which studio heads would sell their mothers for a profitable weekend? Which agents view actors as cattle to be branded and sold? He tells Murphy about the time Louis B. Mayer tried to destroy his career in 1935, spreading rumors that Cagney was a communist sympathizer. "Cost me 2 pictures and 6 months of work," Cagney says. "But I fought back. Had proof Mayer was lying, made him apologize in Variety. More importantly, he teaches Murphy the invisible rules of survival. How to recognize psychological warfare disguised as career advice. How to build alliances with the right people. How to protect his dignity while playing the game. The nightmares," Murphy says suddenly. "They use them against me. Make me feel weak." Cagney's expression hardens. "Kid, you held off 200 German soldiers by yourself. You killed more enemy fighters than any American in history. The fact that it haunts you doesn't make you weak. It makes you human." He reaches across the table, his voice intense. "These studio vultures? They've never faced real danger, never put their lives on the line for anything that mattered. They mistake your conscience for cowardice because they've never had either." "Remember something, kid," Cagney says as they prepare to leave. "They can take your money, your roles, your reputation. But they can't take what you earned in those foxholes unless you let them." Murphy nods, something shifting in his posture. The weight he's been carrying doesn't disappear, but it redistributes. He's no longer bearing it alone. "There's one more thing." Cagney reaches into his jacket, pulls out a small card with a phone number. "You call this number anytime, day or night. Someone tries to destroy you, I hear about it. Someone treats you like dirt because of what you've been through, they answer to me." Murphy takes the card, feels its weight. It's not just paper and ink, it's a promise. A shield. A declaration that one of Hollywood's most powerful men has chosen to stand with him. The card is simple, elegant. Just a phone number in Cagney's precise handwriting. But Murphy understands its significance. In Hollywood, access is power. And Cagney has just given him access to the most protected commodity in the city. Respect. "Why?" Murphy asks one final time. Cagney stands, straightens his jacket with the practiced motion of a man who's never shown weakness in public. "Because 20 years from now, when they write the history of this place, I want them to say we took care of our own." They shake hands. Brief, firm, final. Two men who fought different wars, recognizing the common enemy, those who profit from breaking heroes. As Cagney walks away, Murphy watches him navigate the restaurant like a general surveying conquered territory. Every table acknowledges him. Every conversation pauses as he passes. This is power. Not just fame or money, but the ability to reshape reality through sheer force of will. The three executives at Table 7 look over, see Murphy watching them. Their laughter dies. Kleiner's cigar seems to lose its flavor. Sherman adjusts his tie nervously. Somehow, without a word being spoken, they know the game has changed. Murphy pockets the card and leaves the brown derby a different man than he entered. Not healed. That will take years. Not whole. The war carved pieces from his soul that will never grow back. But no longer alone. The neon lights of Sunset Boulevard wash over him as he walks to his car. Behind him, three studio executives sit in uncomfortable silence, sensing their carefully laid plans crumbling without understanding why. Above them all, the Hollywood sign gleams white against the dark hills, a monument to dreams that can be bought and sold. But tonight, for the first time in months, Audie Murphy looks at it and sees possibility instead of threat. Because sometimes, when you can't save yourself, someone stronger reaches down and pulls you from the wreckage. And sometimes, that someone teaches you how to become strong enough to do the same for others. James Cagney kept his promise. For the next 15 years, until Murphy's death in 1971, any studio executive who tried to exploit America's most decorated soldier found themselves facing the wrath of Hollywood's toughest star. The card with Cagney's number stayed in Murphy's wallet until the day he died, worn smooth by his fingers during the dark moments that never quite left him. But more importantly, Murphy kept his promise too. Throughout his career, he protected other struggling veterans, other broken heroes. Other men who'd given everything for their country, only to find themselves discarded by the peace they died to preserve. The pact made in that restaurant booth that December night created a legacy that outlasted both men. Because real strength isn't about what you can take, it's about what you're willing to give to protect those who can't protect themselves. And in Hollywood, where loyalty is rarer than talent, two men proved that some oaths are worth keeping, even when no cameras are rolling. Hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments. Have you ever had someone stand up for you when you couldn't stand up for yourself? And unfortunately, they don't make men like James Cagney and Audie Murphy anymore.